Hey guys, Windsor here. I was just doing some reflecting on the creative process, being in flow, how we create ideas, and I want to share some ideas that I think could be really helpful, not only facilitating enhanced creativity in what you do, whatever the situation, but also, increased sense of mental health. When we are creative, one of the key things that I've learned that continues to inform is that creativity is related to thought as a principle, not necessarily the content of the thoughts that we have. Sure, creativity shows up as that idea. Okay, let's do that. But it's understanding the essence behind that creates that, and it can make a huge difference. So, first of all, whatever it is that you want to create, okay, it's useful to have an outcome. When you have an outcome, I want to create this. The way the mind works is it goes, okay. I've said this many times in a lot of conversations and talks that I've had, that if you are looking for something, that shows up. We see what we are looking for. It's just how the mind works. That's the RAS, the reticular activating system, in your room right now, wherever you are. Look for the color blue, for example, and you will start to see things that are blue. Okay, the label on that bottle of water, the spine of that book, fill in the blank. And when you were looking for blue, how many red things did you see? Probably not that many, but now that I've mentioned red, you're going to look for red, red, red. And there's a red spine of that book, a red hat, and that little drummer figurine that I happen to have in this living space. It's quite cute, actually. But how does this work? How can you get more creativity using your mind? So the first is having an intention and a goal, which could be, I want to write a new song, I want to write a new article, I want to create a new, social media post, I want to have more fun, whatever that is. And when you set that intention, your mind will go to work to produce things that show up, that you can act on, which leads to one of the core points that I wanted to convey here, that when we do anything, essentially we are acting on thoughts, because we're always generating thoughts every day. And everything that we do, we are thinking beings. And to create something in the world, we must take action on that. And what does that mean? Because we hear taking action is a big thing. And ultimately and simply, it's about acting on the thoughts that we have. Okay, we might have a thought, oh, that would be a great idea to do, fill in the blank, whatever that is. And to manifest that and create that in the world, we have to act on that. It could be a thought that we think in our mind and then speak out, like I'm doing just now, for example. Or, we have a thought, we might write it down. We have an idea that we want to express on the musical instrument that we have, and we express that and we create that, and that's something we can share that adds some value to people. And what's really, really useful, because, sometimes when we want to create things, we might not know what we want to create, or we want to be more creative. Now, to be more creative, especially in the industry I'm involved in, with music and drumming and performance, how do you be creative? One of the best things that I found is when you understand how the mind works, you can leverage that to create more of what you want, more of what your outcome is, and tangibly and physically make that a reality in the world. So the principle of thought is, yes, we create thoughts, thought. And to create more of the thought possibilities that we want, which are more choices to act upon, how can we have more of that, especially when you want to be more creative? Okay, well, it's about understanding how thought works, because when I'm talking about thought in this context, thought is not just about the content of thoughts, because when we think about thoughts, it's the stories, the narrative that the mind creates, the internal dialogue or monologue sometimes, which is, oh, I want to create that. I would like to do more of that. I want to go to the movies. I want to write a blog post. I want to make more money. I want to, have more fun with friends. Whatever it may be. Okay, the thought content that shows up is the precursor to the actions that we take. And what if we want to generate more inspiring content? How do we do that and where do we look? Well, this is why, and this very much relates to mental health, a subject and topic that's very dear to me, and many people in the world who look for more mental well-being and mental health. Well, this can really address that and also lead to more creativity and creating more of what you want in the world. And it relates to thought as a principle. I like to think of it as binary code, like in computing and data. Okay, so all data is essentially binary code. It's made up of zeros and ones. Okay, and very tangibly and practically relating this to thought, the ones of our thinking or thought are, for this example, the content that comes up, the thought content that we generate, the ideas that, okay, I would love to do this. We get an idea and a picture and maybe sounds in our mind. We're multi-sensory beings. We get ideas. So I'd love to create that. Or next time I meet with that person, I'd actually love to go over that point. Or this thing that I'm working on, this project, actually, this seems like, based on what I've processed, the next thing to do to really move that forward as effectively as I can. Fantastic. These are all wonderful ideas, right? Now, what's the source of those ideas? Which leads us on to the other part. So beyond the thought content, the ones of thought, we can look to the zeros of thought, which takes us from content into context. And in this context, the zeros are that which creates the content. And when it comes to the psychological aspect, the other component to thought is not what we think of as thought, just the ideas, but the space in which thoughts occur, which you can refer to as a meditative state, or, simply put, a state of calmness, a state of what you may call clarity. That state when you may watch a sunset and just be present with that, or when you find yourself doing what you normally do and you're just really in the flow with it. It could be if you're working on a job, you just get stuff done all day and you're not really thinking about it. If you're a musician, you've played the thing so many times that you can just do it to that level of unconscious competence, mastery, knowing you can do it well without having to think about what you're doing, that kind of thing. And that component is extremely valuable. It's priceless. To be able to look within. Because from the calmness that's our innate mental state, which, as I see it, is the foundation of all mental health. When you feel love, like a beautiful feeling towards something, you get a state of calmness. And I'm not saying just be calm and do nothing, right? What's key here is understanding how the mind works. And from calmness, we create imagination. When we're in the state of calmness, we can't help create thoughts. That's the nature of thought as a principle. It's from nothing, something is created. From the potential that we are, all of the possibilities, the infinite possibilities come from that infinite. And often the more we can take that moment and be in that space to just be, There are very practical applications to that. When we allow ourselves to just take some time to just be as we are, we're always going to create thought content. And that self-awareness and noticing what comes up is a beautiful thing, because when you think about how the body works, as I see it, it's always healing, it's always adapting for the purpose of leveling up. Okay. When we have a symptom, that it may be the common cold, for example, that we are, coughing stuff up, we may shiver, which often happens. And as I see that, that's a detox response to the inputs the body has been given. The response that the body puts out is the body's leveling up process. When we see that the way the mind works is that it's a thought creation process, it creates new possibilities. It creates infinite possibilities. When we are at the zeros of our thinking, when we are at calm, pure consciousness, it creates things that we've never thought of before. New permutations of that, and sometimes things that just seem so wildly different that it's like, wow, where did that come from? And we've all experienced that to an extent. So this is an invitation to realize that the source of creativity, yes, you can be inspired by things in the world, your favorite musicians, performers, speakers, creators, fill in the blank, and that can all inform you to have new building blocks to create your own permutation of that. Okay, I'm not talking about copying here, but creating your own thing. The space in which that is incubated is that clarity within. And when we access that, which I invite you to do on a regular basis, if you want to be more creative, then possibilities show up. And then you have more options. Again, binary code of thought, zeros, ones. Calmness, creativity. Calmness, imagination. Infinite possibilities to more and more possibilities showing up. You can say the limitless to limitations, because if you have to act on those possibilities, that's like a limitation, because you have to choose what you want to act on, and that takes up time, and you could be working on other things. So therefore, discernment is required, which relates to trusting your gut, to the ideas that you want to act on. And again, here's another thing about creativity, which is that whenever you want an outcome and you're creating a new idea to create an outcome that you want, it could be more money, it could be more skills, it could be more success in whatever area of life that you want. Whenever you get a fresh idea, you don't know that that's going to work, because again, as a foundation, there is no certainty. We can be certain that we think that, okay, I have got this job and this will sustain me, or if I do this, that will create that result. To an extent, that can be true, but sometimes the things that we think we are certain of can be taken away. And there is no certainty. Like, we could walk a 15K walk every day, but even if we walk the same route, we never know exactly how that's going to show up on this particular day. Okay, so we can have some kind of certainty, but that is balanced with the innate uncertainty of life. So for this one, I don't want to make this too long, bringing this to a close, when you want to be more creative, and especially when you want a reservoir of more possibilities to draw from, the way to access those possibilities is within you. And it's an understanding of the inside out nature of thought, of consciousness, of mind. And it requires looking within. Remember, the nothingness creates the somethingness. The infinite potential creates all the possibilities that you could want. And out of that, and this is the invitation, there are possibilities that will pop up in your life that inspire the heck out of you. And when it comes to goals, setting goals, I invite you to set the ones that light you up, that, wow, that's something I would love to do. And go after that. And again, use your discernment. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm presenting some options for you here. When you find the goals that light you up, the ones that when you wake up in the morning, I'm all in going up for that. And where do those goals come from? They come from the thoughts that you create that create the corresponding feelings, because thought creates feeling. And when you are calm and you allow the possibilities to surface, you will create those opportunities in thought potential. And amongst all of those, there will be ones that light you up like never before. Acting on those is a life full of juice and worth living. And again, you have to take action on the goals and the possibilities. It's not just about having the ideas that inspire you. We can all, check the resources, read the books, watch the videos of, yay, I would love to do that. And that's a beautiful thing. To get the results, though, which I'm all about here, is, you do need to take action on those thoughts. And the more you act on things, the more you learn, the more discernment, the more wisdom you accumulate. And over time, the more effective you become. So, with wisdom, what's something you would love to create? What's something you would love to bring into the world? How do you get those possibilities? Again, look within. Find that calmness and be open to what shows up in your world. And then put action into those thoughts. But before you just do that, be open to possibilities and just do the work. That's key. Because don't just watch this video and say, oh yeah, that's inspiring. That's cool too. But what are the things in your life you want to create right now? Come from that place. Remember those inspiring visions that you have, which can really fill your life full of juice and passion and fulfillment. And when you find something you love to do and connect towards every day, it's a game changer to your ongoing success and creativity and lots of good things. Guys, love you. Have a great day. Keep checking the Groove Guru podcast, like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more soon. Love ya.